So very good morning students. So the previous class actually we discussed about a angular velocity, angular acceleration and angular displacement as well as the radius vector also finished. And after that we also finished some related to linear and angular quantities, that is about a v square minus u square is equal to 2as, v is equal to u plus 80, s is equal to ut plus half 80 square, like that we finished it, right? Now let us will go for the next one, that is about a, again I want to tell you about a linear and angular quantities only. Some other relations are there that I want to tell you. So that here I want to tell you that suppose you take a first one in linear quantity, v is equal to ds by dt, this is the rate of change of velocity. In case of a angular velocity, we can say angular velocity is nothing but a angular displacement by angular displacement by time. So the rate of change of angular displacement, it is, you go for the third one here. Actually acceleration we know a bar is equal to dv by dt, right? And coming to the next one, you take here related to angular acceleration, that is omega alpha is equal to, you say d omega by dt. This is the angular acceleration and as well as linear acceleration. Like that we have other relations also is there, that I'll tell you. Suppose some it is related to F is equal to ma, it is a Newton's second law, in the next chapter it is there, but here right away I'll give you the comparison between the linear and angular. Here it is the force is represented in the linear. In case of angular it is represented as a torque. You write here a torque, T-O-R-Q-U-E. Torque is equal to, right? Here m is replaced as a moment of inertia. It is m is replaced as moment of inertia. Of course it is a is nothing but a acceleration. So this is a moment of inertia. Moment of inertia, which we can say moment of inertia. You remember like this. And here coming to the fifth one, here it is, you take a work done, that you know work done is nothing but actually F dot S, and here also you say that work done is nothing but a tau into theta, because here we can also say work done is equal to Fs cos theta, we can say. Here also we can write like this, tau theta into cos theta we can say. Like this we have the comparisons. Like you go for the next one, power is equal to again F dot V, right? Here again F dot V, you take here next one, power is equal to tau into, you say omega. Like this these are the comparisons related to linear and angular quantities. And let us, I will tell you one problem on the basis of this linear and one problem related to this question about a circular motion. In our material there was one question. So the page number the page number will be I think so, it is the given page number right. So the page number 64 from material, page number 64, question number is 10. It is a page number and the question number is 10. So from material, look at here, from material I am telling. So I will read the question. An insect trapped in a circular groove of radius 12 centimeter moves along the groove steadily and completes a 7 revolutions in 100 seconds. So there is a radius of radius is given, radius is equal to r is equal to 12 centimeter, and as well as the time period is given 100 seconds, and here that number of revolutions are given, number of revolutions, RPS, we say revolution per second. that is given n is equal to 7 is given, and is asking now find what is the angular speed and the linear speed of motion and acceleration vector at a constant velocity, what is its magnitude. So is asking first one is related to angular speed. Yes, we know angular speed is nothing but that is angular velocity. First one is asking, you write here angular velocity, right, that you say omega is asking. So omega is equal to, we know, because it is a 2 pi by, actually we can say how many number of rotations are given here, capital N by T, you say it is a capital N number of rotations, 7 is given, time period is given, so that you make like this 2 into 3.14 into number of rotations is 7 by time period will be 100, right. So omega will be, you take 7 into 2 into 7, 14, so 14 into 3.14 divided by 100, right. Suppose you simplify this, you may get the roughly answer. Omega is equal to 0.44 radians per second. This is will be angular speed. This is will be the angular speed, and you go for the next one, that is related to V is equal to R omega, because is asking a linear velocity also. So that you say V is nothing but a, is asking omega, we know already 0.44 into 12 you take, so that here 8 it is, right, 8 it is again, clear, and you multiply this, because if you multiply this approximately you will get the 5.3, it is 5.3 centimeter per second. So like it is given now angular velocity, and it is angular velocities and linear velocities over. And coming to the next one, angular acceleration also asking, A is equal to omega square R. So this is in the previous class already we proved it is. So omega is already is there. A is equal to 0.44 whole square into radius 12. Suppose you multiply and square it first, then after that you multiply. So we may get the final answer is 2.3 centimeter per second square, because we are taking in CGS system. Suppose you want to say in MKS that you multiply with a centimeter is multiply with a 10 power minus 2, so that you will get the in meter per second also. Clear? It is about a one problem related to circular motion in case of a uniform circular motion only. This is we are discussing related to only uniform circular motion. Now let us, I'll tell you another problem also is there, another question you say, another one is there, that is about a question is from material again. See, actually this is not required, but for the practice I am telling one question related to circular motion only. Look at, so the page number which was given in the material again, so it is actually given in the additional problem, but you do it, it is also, because for the practice session only I am telling. So you take here a page number, I think it is a 76 page number, and the question number will be 4.18. Clear? See, I'll read the question again. An aircraft executes a horizontal loop of radius. See, an aircraft is executes a radius. See, horizontal loop is complete, that is a radius is equal to given as 1 kilometer, that you take in meters, so that 1000 meters is it, because kilometer is a practical unit. You don't go for the practical units, always we should take in a MKS, otherwise you take in a CGS system, so that it is in a 1000 meters, 1000 meters it is, because it is kilometers is given with a steady speed. There is a speed also given, that is given as I think it is a speed will be given as 900 kilometer per hour, right. So the 900 kilometer per hour given. Compare its centripetal acceleration with an acceleration due to gravity. So is asking comparison between centripetal acceleration to centripetal acceleration due to gravity, so that we should get first of all here AC because we don't know AC. Of course acceleration due to gravity we know 9.8 meter per second square. This is acceleration due to gravity, but we don't know centripetal acceleration. The given information actually V and R is there. So this is the velocity 900 kilometer per hour given, and radius is 1000 meters is given. So that you say kilometer per hour is there, no, so that we should convert into meter per second. That is very, very important. I'll tell you. So the conversion will be for 1 kilometer per hour, you take a 1 kilometer per hour. Kilometer is nothing but 1000. per hour, no, per hour is nothing but a 3600. So now it is to be converted into meter per second. You take as meter per second 0, 0, 0. So it is 10 by 36, you say 5 by 18 it is. So if you multiply, it is with 5 by 18, if anywhere it is given kilometer per hour like this given, then you multiply with 5 by 18, therefore that must be converted into meter per second. So this is the meter per second conversion. 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 5 by 18 meter per second. Suppose you multiply this 5 by 18 here, then it is to be converted into meter per second. So that you take first V, that is V is given 900 kilometer per hour, no? But 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 5 by 18. You take like this, right? So if you simplify this, you may get it is approximately 200 by 9 it is, right? And V is equal to 1000 by 9. This is the speed in meter per second. Now he's asking centripetal acceleration, so that AC is equal to, you say, V square by R. So AC is equal to V square. However, it is 1000 whole square, 1000 by 9 whole square by R will be the 1000. So AC is equal to, you write here 1000 into 1000 by 9 into 1000. So however, 1000 will be cancelled. Right? Here you simplify this, approximately will get like this. It is 9 ones. I think it is AC is equal to approximately, we may get you say it is a 62 point, right, 62.5 meter per second. This is will be the centripetal acceleration. Right? So that here it is will be centripetal acceleration, but is asking comparison between AC and G. So 62.5 divided by 9.8 you take. Therefore again you divide with this value, then it is will get 6.38 meter per second. I mean to say it is in terms of cancel notes. Therefore centripetal acceleration is greater than 6.38. 6.38 times the greater than the acceleration due to gravity. Centripetal acceleration is greater than the 6.38 times greater than the acceleration due to gravity. This is will be the one example related to circular motion. Clear? So this is all related to circular motion, and you remember again we will discuss the same issues in the next system of particles also. Right? You go through these two problems. Actually this problem is not required, just for the practice I was given this question. Clear? Now let us, so this is the chapter is finished. So complete motion in a plane is almost finished. So let us will move to the new chapter, that is about the chapter is laws of motion. See, this will be the next chapter. So in our intermediate first year it is, so that next chapter, that is about laws of motion. See, in this laws of motion, I think everyone know about laws of motion, because you know, like it is about this will be the fifth chapter, laws of motion. So the chapter is laws of motion it is. So the chapter number 5, and you remember from this chapter in the final examination, see, we'll get usually this chapter is contains I'll give you one clear information related to this. Actually this chapter is contains two parts, one about laws of motion, or we can say Newton's laws. And in this Newton's laws, you say this is contains like this Newton's laws, and here another one is we can say about a friction. So this is the information related to this chapter. This contains two parts, two topics, one related to Newton's laws, and here under comes a Newton's laws, all first law, second law, third law, like that we'll get, right? And coming to the next one, you go for the friction. So in this friction, so we will discuss all related to friction. And here this chapter in the final examination, you will get the, sometimes he may ask you here one SAQ, right, and one VSAQ in the final examination. This is very, very important. So let us will go for the first one. In case of a laws of motion, we should know about thing is law of inertia. You remember first topic in this law of inertia. Law of inertia. Actually Sir, what is mean by inertia? You say inertia is nothing but a, say you say inertia. Sir, what is mean by inertia? Otherwise you directly take inertia like this. Inertia you say, right? So or else you say law of inertia. Sir, what is mean by law of inertia or inertia? Let us, I'll tell you in this laws of motion. So we should know about first of all Newton's laws. Before the Newton's laws, we should know about inertia. Sir, what is mean by inertia? So the inertia is nothing but here it is very simple. In general, see, it is a one property of a motion, laws of motion. It is a property of a substances which changes, general which changes itself it changes related to the inertia. And here one more point I will tell you, inertia related to tensor quantity. Actually there are, we know the quantities, I mean to say vector quantity, scalar quantity, like that we have inertia, tensor quantity. So that the inertia related to tensor. Sir, what is mean by tensor? And you remember tensor is nothing but the quantity which has different magnitudes and different directions. The quantity which has different magnitudes and different direction, which we can call as the tensor. The best example related to tensor is inertia, and as well as other quantities also is there, that is we can say like stress, like strain. These are all comes under a inertia. Now let us tensor. Let us I'll tell you about inertia. Inertia is nothing but itself it changes. See, itself it changes in the senses we can call as a inertia. Suppose I'll give you an example. See, suppose heavier the mass is there, heavier the mass. So there it is to be require a large force is required to change itself. There is a force is required to change itself. There must be a large force is required. So that the mass is the measure of inertia. Mass is the measure of inertia. This is the second point. And coming to the next point, I'll tell you. Inertia means resistance to change. Inertia means resistance to change. So that there is a inertias are actually three types of inertias are there. One we can say inertia of rest. Inertia of rest. First one. Second it is inertia of motion we can say. And third one we can say inertia of direction. Sir, what are these all? See, you remember, that's what. It is a tensor quantity, because the tensor is nothing but the quantity which has different magnitudes and different direction. That's what the inertias are like this. One is inertia of rest, inertia of direction, inertia of motion. So let I'll tell you first of all about a inertia of a rest. Inertia of rest in the sense is, I'll give you an example. Suppose in a bus, the passengers are at rest. Bus is at rest. When driver comes, when he will starts, so that automatically will comes to the motion. Itself it is happens. Suppose bus is moving. Best example, another bus is moving with constant speed. We are also at rest. We are also at rest because bus is moving. The passengers are not moving. Bus is moving from one place to another place. So when driver is suddenly applies a brakes, when therefore what happens, definitely will get the jerk. See, automatically itself it is converted into motion. We are at rest in the bus. Then the bus is moving with constant speed. When there is a force is applied, braking force is applied, therefore will get the forward jerk. Ultimately will move into the forward direction because of applying the force. This is the common experiences we can see in the moving buses. Clear? Is it okay everyone? When suddenly applies the force. Therefore, actually we are in the rest position, then will move automatically. Itself it is happens. That's what inertia in the sense is itself it is changes. Itself it is changes. We can call as the inertia. So inertia of rest, that is also same. It is a inability of a. It is a property of a substances. Therefore, itself it is changes. Itself it's changes from rest to motion and motion to direction, like that we can say. So that we can call as the inertia. First one, rest, itself it is changes. When the bus is moving, that example is the best example. Suppose in a motion, Suppose if the bus, we are in the bus in the standing position, the bus is moving. Suppose when we are moving, again the bus applies the force. Therefore, a driver applies the force. Again, we will change the direction. Ultimately, we will change the direction. And one more also I'll tell you, related to the inertia of direction. Bus is moving through the curved surfaces. When bus is turns right side, then ultimately what happens? Will move opposite to the turn. Suppose bus is turning right side, therefore passengers moves left side. It is happens itself only. That's what here you remember. Inertia in the sense is itself it is changes. Very simple. Itself it's a changes. That's what we can call as the inertia of rest, inertia of motion, inertia of direction. So that we can under comes a tensor, because inertias are different types are there. See, itself it changes from rest, from motion, from direction. So that it is related to the first one, inertia related to the laws of motion. So it is related to like this. Clear? Now coming to the point is, after inertia, here because it is a very very important inertia. Inertia, if we know the inertia, then we can go or we can discuss other topics also. In this laws of motion, next topic is there that we can say Newton's laws. See, there are 3 Newton's laws is there. I think you know everyone it is about a Newton's laws. That is Newton's first law and second law and third law. There are 3 Newton's laws are there that I'll tell you. First one, the types of Newton's laws or Newton's laws of motion. You say Newton's laws of motion. Newton's laws of motion. Then here you write first one is Newton's first law. Newton's first law it is, and second you say Newton's second law, and third it is Newton's third law. So these are the 3 related to the laws of motion. So Newton's first law, Newton's second law, Newton's third law, which is related to like this. Clear? So in this Newton's first law, actually here we should discuss about a Newton's first law as well as a Newton's second law and as well as a Newton's third law also. So we'll see in the next class this all definitions and related derivations are there, so that we will discuss in the next class. Thank you very much. Thank you.